You said something else too that I want to talk about because I think this is so important too, and that's the ability to maintain this specific image,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that puts a lot of pressure on people to do things that they know in their gut not to do. Let's talk about that. Why did you feel like that was so important for you to do? Was to maintain this image of maybe perfection?
Yeah.
Is that the right word, or is there another word you want to?
That's the
That's
word.
that's the word. Mhm.
That's the word. It's a word that when we were in your program, that when we sat that one week when we had to do the know thyself week, which I there was a couple weeks I dreaded. That was one of them because I was like, man, I gotta sit and look at myself. Oh gosh. Because I knew that was a thing. I
Yeah.
knew that from a very small age. Not that it was any fault of my parents. It was society, it's what kids do. You want to be the good kid. You just
Yeah.
do. Because guess what? The good kid gets the teacher's attention. The good
Mhm.
kid gets, you get all the praise and the accolades. And so what started as a child in me, I had to hold on and preserve. And I couldn't have made it this far, which little did I know. I made many mistakes along the way, in my life, but I couldn't be like at 34 and oh my goodness, like I can't let that image that I've held on to from being a little girl who got straight A's to the little girl who ended up graduating number one in her high school class and she got the full scholarship. She could not do that. Not this little girl who's the daughter of the deacon and the mother at the church. And like, come on, she couldn't do that. And I'm 34, like I'm way grown by this time, but I still felt I had to hold it together. And I had to have this 30 image. And so I could not, like I said, we had to hold this thing together. Like, no, like, cause at this point I'm like, I'm older, so I should at least know better,
Right.
you know? And like I said, like I'm the woman that's at church, I'm teaching the kids in the Sunday school class, like,
Mhm.
well, I should know better. And so that's what made me feel like, okay, I gotta hold this thing together. And for some reason, now I look back and think about it, I'm like, oh girl, 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 what were you doing? You know, even piecing those things together, Tanya, didn't change what truly occurred. It did.
Right.
It really didn't change it. And if anything, it complicated things because now I pulled this person who I don't believe ever wanted to really be a perfectionist into my perfectionist world and what he did. And that's why I said I admire him for choosing to say, you know what, I know she wants to be married, so I'm gonna marry her. Like I know
Right.
she wants his image, so I'm gonna fit the image. And
So there
I
was pressure on both ends. I
it
mean, the
was.
pressure for you to be, to maintain this image, and then the pressure of him
Yep.
maybe stepping outside of choosing something that he didn't want to do at the time as well. Yeah.
I agree. I don't think he wanted to. I think he did it. And I mean, he didn't like act begrudgingly about it. You know what I'm saying? But he went with a
Mhm.
flow that I don't think was his flow. And that wasn't fair to him to do that. It
Right.
wasn't, it just honestly, if I'm honest, it just wasn't fair. And I
Yeah.
hate that people do that because I've heard people unfortunately do it. And I'll say it boldly. We've done it in the church. We've done it. Well, go get married. Yeah, no, do not force people to do that. Do not, because they could potentially look, if a child is here, I believe God has a reason for that child to be here, irregardless of the method in which they get here. So they're here. That's a human life. They're here. But do not force a dynamic that may not need to be there because it's more harmful than it's helpful, just for the sake of saying you did the right thing.